Hello everyone, and welcome to episode 3 of Escreal Let's Play Minecraft. Today we're going to be working both above ground as well as below to help turn this base into something more usable. However, before I can get to all of the specific things that I had planned to do in this episode, there is one thing I need to do first, as part of a good citizen of this town. When I logged in today, I was surprised to discover... I wasn't all that surprised actually. I wasn't startled to discover, but what I did find was a sign from our mayor asking, "When you can, please try and make a house." And it was a completely reasonable statement, and to which I replied earlier, "I'll do it tonight," which is right now. Sorry for the delay. Thanks for the patience. And I am sorry for the delay, and I do appreciate the patience. But it's true. I do need to step it up and finish up building at least some temporary structure here so we can fit in a little bit more with this town. Part of the reason why it's taken me so long to get to at least a temporary structure is that I was working on refining some redstone designs for some automated farms I intend to include in my base, and which I intend to get to a little bit later in this episode. However, before I can get to actually putting in those designs and those farms into my build here, I am going to go ahead and spend a little bit of time just being a good citizen. Now, I do have a lot of really big and complicated plans for this base, a lot of which I'm really excited for. However, they're not going to get done in this episode, and they certainly won't be a completed structure within the next several episodes. So to be fair to the rest of my town and to my fellow alpha citizens, I will forgo starting anything really crazy, build up something temporary, something that just matches, and then we'll go from there, and we'll refine the insides, build on the outsides, tear stuff down. Easy enough to do, not worried about that. But that's how I'm going to kick off the start of the episode. And what I'm thinking is probably use just something, either stone blocks or... Actually, no. Probably just stone blocks. So I'll use stone blocks, maybe some glass, nothing particularly crazy. Again, we're not looking for anything ginormous. I'm just going to effectively cover over what I have right here so I can get on with the rest of my builds with impunity. So now that you have a roadmap for what we plan on doing today, I'm going to get started with starting to build up our structure. Hello, Mayor. So I had a quick little chat with my mayor, who once again came over and said, "Hey, when's it happening?" Trying to reassure him and typing and recording at the same time. I'm not yet even remotely close to quick and efficient with it, so I apologize that I keep him waiting and all of that. But I do. So I did reassure him. I'm working on it now. One of the things I'm starting with is making some stone. I don't currently have a silk touch pickaxe, so this is my way of getting stone, is to just bake some cobblestone. So I intend to use a lot of stone slabs for this build, so I'm going to start baking them to get them going. What I'm also going to do is, one of the things that's kind of awesome about not being on the server for a little while is that all my sugar canes have grown to the point of getting harvested. So what I'll do is I'll harvest my sugar cane, and then go ahead and make as many bookshelves as I can to help get whatever enchantments that I can get for my pickaxes and my other armor to make the next sets of building that much more quicker. So that's the plan, is we'll make a few bookshelves. We will take all of our stone slabs that we're getting and start doing a rough frame around the outside of the house, and we will hopefully be making a lot of progress with this. I'm not doing anything overly complicated, so this should go quickly and get us to where we can start working on our redstone by the middle of the episode, I would hope. I'd expect, unless anything unforeseen happens, like for instance I get sidetracked by sheep. Hi, sheep. Right, okay, off to do some more building and harvesting and construction. All right, with harvesting, I was able to get 58 sugarcane, almost an entire full stack, which is pretty excellent. It's going to take 9 per bookshelf because I need 3 sugarcane per book and 3 books per bookshelf. which means I'm going to be able to get 6 bookshelves out of this, which is actually pretty excellent, so I'm kind of excited about that. Now, the only other thing that I need to do is make sure that I have enough leather for the books, and I might need to breed some more cows, which is why I harvested my wheat. And we'll go down, we'll see what we have in storage and what we need to get in order to build our bookshelves, but we should be pretty good. So let's find out. All right, we were able to make 30 books with all the sugarcane that we had. That also ended up using up all the leather that we had on hand, which worked out perfectly for the creation of the books, but that still means that I have to do some feeding and breeding with cows so I can grow some more backlog of leather for the next round of doing bookshelves. But all in all, 30 books, 10 bookshelves, I'm pretty psyched about that. That worked out pretty well. So I'll construct some bookshelves and get some more powerful enchantments going on. 10 bookshelves are more wood than I currently have on hand. However, what I can do is, while I'm down here, is get 9 of my bookshelves made. So we'll go ahead and place these bookshelves around our existing enchanting table. Bookshelves need to be 1 full unobstructed block away from the enchanting table for them to actually start adding value. They can be too high, but if anything is built between the bookshelves and the enchanting table, they will no longer work. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and we will put a 9th. Right there. And you can see as the runes fly from the books, it means that it's working. And if we were to drop a weapon in the enchanting table, you'll see that we now have access to things like level 18 as well as level 5, as opposed to just simply levels 1, 2, and 3. So that's kind of excellent, and we get some really powerful enchantments at the higher levels. You sometimes get multiple enchantments, which is incredibly valuable for your bang for the buck. But that's a great start for us, and it will get us going closer to where we need to be in order to do the rest of our builds for today. All right, progress. Our first stack of cobblestone has been turned into stone, so we have 2 full stacks of stone. I got another set of cobblestone baking, because I will probably need a lot. We're going to go ahead and make stone slabs out of these stone blocks, because I really like the way that stone slabs look. I think it's really just nice and clean. And we're going to use these at least to build the skeleton of this new temporary house. So my thought is that we will find the corners and, using the stone slabs, start building up, get our corners, maybe the occasional spine along the way, and then we will connect them between the stone slab spines with maybe glass, or maybe even a tinted glass or something like that. But I'm currently thinking keep it still very light, very airy, and then we'll add on to it as some of these other designs that I intend to do start getting started. Now, one thing that I truly don't know is where my property actually starts and where I can start building. I haven't tested this out yet. So for instance, this corner here, can I build on it, or do I have to be inside these paths? How does the plot work in Towny? Still trying to figure that out. So let's find out on camera. When I try to do that, it doesn't appear to work. So, although I can technically build outside of my property because I'm on the very edge, it does look like inside this perimeter is where I need to be building. That's okay, I can work with that. So right there, and on this side, right there. You may notice that the sugarcane is breaking. It's because they need to be directly adjacent to water in order to grow. So this is going to kill some of my just sort of free-forming, old-school farming of sugarcane. However, I'm really not concerned about that, about my sugarcane up here, nor about my pumpkins right here, because they are going down one level into an automated farm as part of this episode. I am absolutely, definitely, 100% unequivocally going to do that, assuming that I can get some quartz. So here's my plan. Now that I've started building my shelter, I feel I can have a little bit more time to talk about this. I'm going to get two temporary, or not two temporary, I'm going to create two farms, automated redstone farms, down here in this level, probably right around these corners. The farms themselves only take up a 4x5 area, so I might be able to put them next to each other right here. I may need to readjust how my animals are currently held, but that's the plan, is I'll put one here, and get them going, and that will give us an automated growth and harvesting of both sugarcane and pumpkins. In order to do that, though, there's one ingredient that I don't currently have, which is quartz. In order to get quartz, I need to go to the Nether. Now, what I'm thinking, since I don't currently have a reliable way to and from the Nether, is that as part of this episode, I'll start digging down all the way to bedrock, get as low as I can, and build a portal to the Nether right there. I'll then use that portal, go out, get some quartz, come back, and be able to build the rest of my builds. But it's not going to be anything fancy. It's just going to be basically dig down as far as I can, and then at the lowest level, I'll build a portal. And later on in another episode, I'll go back and I'll refine that area. For instance, that will be the area where I house my animals when I end up dropping them further. The portal, like the animals, are just loud creatures that I just don't want to have so close to the surface, so close to where I'll be working, but I do want to have within my base. But what we'll do is finish up our housing skeleton, get something in place, and then start digging. Ooh, wait, before we start digging, then enchant some more pickaxes, and then start digging. So that's where we're going next. Just a little status update. This is what I'm currently doing with my perimeter. So I've gone up high enough that I think is relatively reasonable for an enclosed area without it being too claustrophobic. I am then just slowly walking the perimeter, filling in a single set of stone slabs, which I'll use to build everything else off of. There you have it. This is what the enclosed area of my house will be, or at least the first floor of the temporary house. My plans for the final version, or the further down the road version, is much higher. It's going to be wicked cool. I'm very excited about it. I've been sketching out a lot of the redstone designs that I intend to include within it. I'm actually loving the space constraint of Towny, of trying to get these crazy builds within this relatively small area. I mean, it's still a reasonable amount of area to work with, but compared with some of the other builds that I've done and the way that I've kind of sprawled my redstone, I mean, this is really asking me to go to the next level to do the things that I want to do. So I'm actually kind of loving that. So now I just need to figure out how I want to deal with the walls, the ceiling, and as you can see, I mean, it's a very reasonable thing to just do kind of like a flat top house, or step them up to a smaller peak. The design of this roof is pretty incredible. I think that it's a really cool pattern and a really good, really cool results. So I'm trying not to spend too much time on this, but it is reasonable enough to expect that it looks at least partially decent. The one thing I'm not planning on doing is actually having a yard. I'm more of a city girl. I'm going to embrace the fact that I don't have a yard where my house will be, where my apartment will be, my workshop, but I will have some internal farms, little planters, little windowsill gardens, if you will. But I want to use the space, and what I might do as a slightly cool effect is maybe do like another row or an inner circle following the same pattern, and maybe I'll enclose that with more of a stone or opaque view and do the outside with glass. Maybe something like that. I'm going to play around with a little bit and try to get to something, and we will see how it goes. Alright, so I don't know yet exactly what I'm doing, but I've started to sort of sketch out a little something. So the idea that from these corners, maybe I'll go up another level or do something 3 blocks in from each corner. So kind of start maybe this type of a pattern, redesigning or sort of reshaping. Oh, that's interesting. Alright, so what about this? So, yeah, we do keep this kind of corners come in approach. And then we redo another kind of tower of stone slabs coming up from these and sort of repeat this process a few more times until it kind of comes together a bit at the top. And then we can, do something to kind of fill it in, but that would give us a framework that has an interesting shape at least, and uses a couple different materials. At least in this case, we'd have cobblestone and stone slabs. I think it could work. To kind of give myself a little bit of a way of navigating around my property as I was trying to figure out ideas, I just kind of made this little mid-level scaffolding of cobblestone. So this isn't likely going to stick around unless I start to really like it, but for now it at least just gives me a way of walking around without totally destroying everything below me. But yeah, I think I like this. I think there's something to do something with this. I kind of like it, and I like the different thicknesses of the 2 different items. This might work. I think I'm okay with this. So I'm going to build it up a little bit more, maybe do another level or 2 and see how it looks and how it comes together, and see if it's completely horrible and I need to tear it all down or start over. But anyway, that's what we're trying for right now. But that's going to do it for us for today. If you enjoyed this video, please click the like button down below. And if you're looking forward to seeing what happens next, please click subscribe. Until next time, bye!